All right, good evening, everybody. It's Japanese Irish Highlander, otherwise known as Officer Cadet Rod Redden. And I'm at CTC Valcartier here in Quebec on my basic officer's training course and my occupational training course. So we came in 2 days ago and we had a 2-day first aid course, which I passed. So that's the first hurdle done. We just did our PT for the day, which we were permitted to do whatever physical activity we wanted. So a bunch of us actually walked up for about an hour or so, up out of the base, just to stretch our legs and sort of see the area, and then we came back in. So Valcartier is a very historic Canadian Forces base because it was the main staging point for all of the battalions in the Canadian Expeditionary Force that were west of Quebec, and they were shipped by train from places west up to here, and then they would have been trained or marched into Quebec and then boarded ships and came up the St. Lawrence, out the Gulf of St. Lawrence, out past the Cabot Strait across the North Atlantic to Britain and then into France. Whereas all the Atlantic Canadian units and all the understanding I have of all the units from my part of Canada, Nova Scotia, would have boarded at Pier 9, I believe. Or I know that in World War II it was Pier 21, but during the First War, Pier 21 didn't exist. So anyway. But yeah, so we're just relaxing. It's a Saturday evening up here, and we're going to be able to, from 2000 hours, which is in probably about 10 minutes. We have some free time. However, I think there's one more thing I have to fill out. But then after that, we basically have free time until it's lights out, and then inspection is at 0600. So we have early mornings. And as far as I know, we're supposed to be doing a parade drill tomorrow, learning how to do our proper marches and things like that, and also learning how to properly wear our uniforms, even though most of us already know how to do that, but, little things they tell us. Now, I'm wearing my 2928 sport kit because we're on PT, and because it's not particularly warm here, I'm wearing my issue toque. And in my small pack that I have on my back here, you can see the shoulder straps. I have some additional gloves, and I also have my neck warmer, which I've used while I've been a commissioner. So anyway, it's kind of a cooler, drizzly evening right now, and several of our course students, like myself, just relaxing and resting after having done our PT. So luckily we had the choice of what we could do. We could either go, there was a 7-kilometer trail we could have walked. There's also walking up to the Canucks, which is what we did. Or you could have gone to the base gym. Now, the base pool, didn't know about it, but I did pack my swim gear. So I'll see if I can actually get a swim in the base pool. I wasn't able to do that at Gagetown last summer, so it'll be nice to see if I can use Valcartier's. Now, I do have one day off between the two courses that I'm taking, and I've been talking with a few other people, and we are thinking on going into Quebec City, because I would actually like to see the military fortifications that date from the siege of Quebec back in 1759, because it's something that I very much studied, and two of the British military units that I do reenactments for served in that siege as well. And I don't know the next time I'm going to be up in Quebec to be able to do this stuff, and so that's pretty cool. I've also making some new friends as well, which is really cool. And the interesting part, we have some Francophone officer cadets in our barrack block as well. One of the reasons is they're mixing us in so that we break down some of the cultural and language barriers so that we get along. And also, some of our drills we have to do are actually in French and English. And this is because officially, Canada having bilingualism, the Canadian Forces needs to also do that. And because of the language situation here in Quebec, that French is the first language that's used here and English is the second if it's used at all. So we're trying to be accommodating. Those of us who speak English, we try to use our French that we learned. And it's rather cool because some of the French speaking officers are actually also trying to integrate with us and use English. So this young fellow I've met, it should be cool. Anyway, I'll give another posting, and I'll post this after I finish my course, basically, just because we don't have too much access to Wi-Fi on the base, and we're really too busy to be doing other extracurricular things than surfing on the net. So anyway, have a good evening, everyone.